Yeah, waking up early with us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Little new uh backup right here. So we gonna get right up into it today. Yeah, I got something new going on right now. I'm kind of StreamYard kind of got me a little upset, but it's all good though. We gonna work through this morning and get it going and everything. So I want to say thank y'all for coming through and having y'all breakfast with our game day picks. Yes, sir. Pick and roll, fans point of view style with Shad and Truckin Chubby. So let's get it. So what's up, Shad? How you feeling today, bro?
Good, man.
All right, all right. So just a quick recap of some of these games. I won't recap all the games. I'll just go through some of the scores real quick before we get going here. New Mexico State had beat FIU. FIU takes down New Mexico State 34-13. The Raging Cajuns from Louisiana and Texas State they overtopped Texas State 23-17. Louisiana Tech take on Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State beats them 9-3. Jacksonville
Nine to
State,
three. That's crazy.
yeah, 9-3 score. They are seven in Sam Houston State right now is 7-2, 4-1 in the Conference USA. They are second place right now, only behind Jacksonville State in the Conference USA. Jacksonville State took down Liberty. Liberty's second loss of this season, 31-21. Liberty is 5-2 and 3-2 overall. Their playoff hopes is definitely done. I hope that
Yes, sir.
I got Liberty winning the Conference USA, so I'm hoping they have a chance to play for the title game. The only way that happened if Sam Houston State loses. Okay, Kennesaw State taking on Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky beat Kennesaw State 31-14. Western Kentucky is 4-0 in the Conference USA right now. They are looks like there is a first place tie between them and Jacksonville State. All right. Tulane smacked Charlotte in the American Athletic Conference 34-3. That was your final score there. Georgia State took on UConn. UConn beats Georgia State 3-4, 2-7. That takes Georgia State on 4 in the Sun Belt, 2-6 overall. And UConn is 6-3 this year. 6-3 for UConn. Wow. Wow, college football. USF defeated FAU 44-21. Uh, USF right now is 4-4 overall, 2-2 in the American Athletic Conference. FAU is 2-6, 0-4 in the American Athletic Conference. This is the game that I want to talk about. Yes. Yes. Boise State did cover their 24-point spread against San Diego State University. Smacked them around 56-24. They moved to 7-1, 4-0 in the Mountain West Conference right now. Look like they got their playoff spot right on there. But I want to talk about the Heisman candidate, Ashton Genty. 31 carries, 149 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the win over San Diego State last night. Now, who right now, Shad, as it stands, who is your top three Heisman candidates?
My top three: Cam Ward, no particular order. Cam Ward, Ashton Genty, Shador Sanders. Was my top three.
I like that. I like that. I like that top. I think that Shador Sanders should be. It's disrespectful for Shador Sanders to not be in somebody's top three right now. Shador Sanders should absolutely be in everybody's top three because he is more important to the Colorado Buffaloes to me than Travis Hunter is. They can win without Travis Hunter. They've shown that. And
Yeah,
he can roll and move that offense without Travis Hunter being on that offense. And yes, that defense can operate without Travis Hunter. Now, Travis Hunter, he's a great athlete. He's a great player to, you know what I'm saying, offensive and defensive player, two-way player, great. I'm not taking nothing from him. I just think it's disrespectful for there to be a quarterback-driven award and Shador Sanders' name not being at the top of that conversation. Like, how do you
yeah.
feel about that, bro?
I mean, like I said, well, not like I said, but like I'm going to say, one of the things that kind of struck me because obviously I watch a lot of your broadcasts when you have the panel when y'all doing your
Mhm,
family thing. And one of the things that I kind of take away from it is like some people, which I'm sure that's probably the general consensus amongst, people that are Colorado fans, you know, is that they feel like Travis Hunter is more important to this team than Shador Sanders is. Or they feel
mhm,
like their importance is equal, which I don't think that either. I think Shador Sanders, obviously, simply because there's nothing behind Shador Sanders that can
mhm.
match it's kind of like one of the phrases in baseball, WAR, wins above replacement. You know what I'm saying? And so the
Oh,
aspect, so the aspect of me is like whoever's behind Shador Sanders, you're not going to have a positive WAR. But the individual that can fill in for Travis offensively or defensively is not going to be a significant drop off, right? I'm not too
mhm,
familiar with the Colorado roster because it's not a team that I follow very closely, but I do know
mhm.
that they have a plethora of receivers. And when Travis initially went down, one of their younger receivers, I believe, what is it,
Mario Miller, he's hurt now, but
Omarion,
yes, Miller.
he stepped up. He stepped up tremendously. So it was almost like the production was not even missed.
Mhm.
Now, from a defensive perspective, I know people are more so looking at Travis, the play that he made at the red zone when he forced the fumble.
Great play.
Just some of his acrobatic ability. But I just don't. Again, I may catch some pushback for this, but I don't see anything so dynamic on the defensive side of the ball as a defensive back to the point that just says, "Oh my God, if he's not able to play corner this week, we're in like deep trouble." So I don't see that amazing type of defensive back play. And I
Right.
see some amazing wide receiver play from him because I
Mhm.
do feel like that's going to be his position in the NFL, but it's not so amazing to the point that his production is missed when he's not on the field versus if Shador Sanders does not play.
Right.
So I mean to be and like I said, I'm a Miami fan at the end of the day. I'm not gonna be biased, but I will say this. I do think that in terms of importance to their team, there's not two more important players to their team than Shador Sanders and Cam Ward. Me watching some Miami games this particular year, the ones that I've been able to watch in totality because of my work
Mhm.
schedule, some of those games we do not win if Cam Ward is not on the field. And the same thing goes for Colorado.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I like your take. I like it, bro. I really do. And I agree wholeheartedly. Dylan Gabriel right now is supposed to be in the league for that, but like we kind of discussed this earlier. Like, and you know what I'm saying? Looking at the way what Dylan Gabriel has, the team he has, right? If let's just say, for instance, folks out there listening and watching right now, by the way, I appreciate y'all. Hope y'all hit the like button. If you're looking at Cam Ward on Oregon or Shador Sanders on Oregon, that offense is highly productive, highly productive. You know what I'm saying? So Dylan Gabriel arguably has, and they got off to a slow start. And I know that I was always saying that they're playing Big Ten football, they're running a balanced offense. He does have the highest completion percentage in college football, but I think that you put those two on that team with those receivers that Oregon has and the tight end that they have, I think that the team is a lot more productive than what it's able to be. And he's getting there right now. So
It
him
wouldn't
being on
be fair.
right, right. You're right. You're right.
It wouldn't be fair.
You're right. But what Ashton Genty is doing is just incredible right now on the season, man. His stats are amazing right now. And it got me ready to look at him right now just to make sure. Yeah, man, he's at 1,500, man, right now. With what they got 3 games left of the season right now. Three more games. And I believe the way college football works is the
Wait a
record,
minute. What they haven't played 8 games. Yeah, you right. No, they
right?
would have four. You got it's 12
Okay.
regular season
So they
games.
got
So you got
4
four
games left.
got 4 games left.
They got 4 games left.
Yeah.
He's over 1,500 yards right now. He's still averaging 8 yards per carry, which is ridiculous. 20 touchdowns. He had 190 attempts. He's just he Aston
What is he
Genty, right?
averaging? What is he averaging a game?
He's averaging 8 a game per game. Let me
Like
get that for
yeah,
you.
yeah, yards per game.
Okay. Let me see if I can get that up for you real quick, brother. Uh at per game. I don't know what Ashton Genty's per game numbers are right now. I'm looking it up though. I don't think it's telling me. It's just telling me what he's averaging per is that
I'll
is
look
that
I'll look it up.
it gotta be something crazy. Like he gotta be averaging like a buck 50 a game. You know what I'm saying? Like he gotta be averaging that buck 50 a game somewhere in that area. I would not, you know what I'm saying? But I want to make sure and fact check myself so I'm
Let me
not putting out
see.
that false information. What is he averaging? Did you get it pulled up yet?
Uh, he's averaging 190 yards a game on the ground.
190 yards per game. Damn.
So if
Wow.
you multiply
Wow.
that out over the next 4 games, that's 760 yards. If he averages that plus the 1,500,
Yeah.
what is that? It's gonna be 2260. So he'll fall short of Barry Sanders' record.
Uh-huh.
But I mean,
But
it'd be
don't
a
they
night.
count all the games though in college football? Or do they because I don't think there's a such thing as regular season stats in college football. I don't think that counts, right? So they go the entire season, all their
Yeah,
yards.
yeah, yeah. They would. Yeah, they would include the bowl game.
Yeah,
But he was still in the bowl game. He was still because what Barry was at what 25, 2,600. So even in the
yeah,
bowl game, he would still need
falling short.
over 240 yards rushing to pass the record.
Okay. So Ashton, so pretty much he need Ashton Genty need one of these breakout games. So let's take a look at his future schedule and see what he got up. And so he got Nevada next, San Jose State, Wyoming. I think the Wyoming game is his 300-yard game. I'm just saying, I'm just guessing. I think that's the game right there where he gets close to the record, and I think he breaks the record in the Oregon State game. I will give him these 4 games to go ahead and get. I know it's a long
Let me
shot, y'all.
see.
He need 1,000 yards. He need 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards in 4 games. Do you think he could do it? He need 1,100 yards in four
Yeah,
games. Is what he
Barry.
needs.
The record is 26-28, and Barry Sanders had 37 touchdowns.
Wow. Wow. So he need 1,100 yards and 17 touchdowns. Well, he probably won't get the touchdown record with Barry,
Nah,
but to get
nah,
the
he
rushing
won't.
record, he needs 1,100 yards. And I think that's like the only way that you can hand him that trophy. But there is a running back award, and I think he has that
I
on lock.
mean, he got that on lock. But again, but I will say this though. There's some. I mean, like again, we said this not to deter or
Hmm.
to transition out to a topic, but this is one of the things that we talked about last year when we were talking about the draft, and we made the bet about would there be a running back drafted before the third round.
Hmm.
And my point was the running back class this year was going to be so deep that teams would say, "Hey, look, we'll put y'all to the side. It's a lot more talent coming in behind you. And there's a lot of talent in this running back class this upcoming season, which obviously that'll be something we talk about on a future show. But I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of talent out there. But yes, Ashton Genty's head and shoulders. I know some people want to knock because, oh well, he's playing, he's not in a power conference and doing this. And my whole thing is, if that's the excuse that you want to use, where's the other Ashton Genty at in the
Mm.
G5? There
Uh,
isn't one.
uh.
His
The
Oregon
closest
perform
one
his
is
Oregon
Ty Hughes with Tulane. He got over 1,000. The sophomore
his
from Tulane.
his Oregon performance lets you know that, hey, look, I can I can do this against whoever. It
The
it
best of the
doesn't
best.
matter. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
So,
You right.
but
You
But
right,
yeah.
bro. You
But
on
you were
point.
cooking. I ain't mean to interject, but I wanted to get those numbers. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you
but
had
you
to get
good.
those numbers in, bro. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We out here. We out here. But I like, but you know, that game, they did cover in that game, and that's gonna be it. But before we start getting into our game day picks, Chad, before we get into our game day picks, I want to ask you this question because I didn't put these three games up there, y'all. So I want to talk about them now and kind of like, you know what I'm saying, segmentize some of the conversation we're having, right? But so which undefeated team is most likely to be upset today? Now we got Oregon at Michigan, we have Texas Tech at Iowa State, and we have Indiana going to Michigan State. Which one of those undefeated teams, Indiana, Oregon, or Iowa State, most likely
Mm,
to be upset today?
out
Now,
of
look, there's no wrong or right or wrong answer here. I'm just
yeah,
saying
yeah,
most
yeah.
likely to be upset. I'm not saying that they're going to be upset. Most likely to be upset. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just gonna say it right now. Uh, not picking against Kirk Signetti. Let's get that off. Let's get there right now. Not picking against. I'm not picking against Psycho Kirk. That's for one thing. I'm not gonna pick against it. So really, I only got two options: Oregon versus Michigan, and Texas Tech versus Iowa State. I know Iowa State is your pick for the Big 12.
mhm.
Obviously, I got a fantasy player from Iowa State on my team, but man, because obviously Texas Tech starting quarterback, he just went down, so they got to back up. But for some reason, I still want to pick Iowa State, and that's not
Okay.
a knock to Iowa State. It's just,
Okay.
and obviously Indiana, their starting quarterback is down, but it's Kirk Signetti. He's a psychopath. Like it's never enough for him. You know what I mean? And Michigan State, even though they played a very valiant game last week against Michigan, which I felt like they should have won. Wasn't able to make the broadcast last weekend, so I apologize to you for that. Apologize to the fans. I was gonna pick Michigan State to beat Michigan, so I'm not picking Michigan. And obviously, I told you I can't. I'm not picking against Oregon unless they play against Miami.
All right.
So that
All right.
so that this so and Michigan State is just too inconsistent. So it
All
just
right.
leaves me by default. By default, I have to say Iowa State is the most vulnerable.
Mhm.
Even though Texas Tech starting quarterback will not be playing, but they still got
Oh,
their weapons out there.
oh,
They
oh.
still got their weapons.
Most so in that case, most likely to be upset. I think I would have to go with the Big 12 matchup as well. Not disagreeing with you, but the Big 12 is the Big 12, right? But we're seeing that everywhere in college football this year. But that matchup there is a familiar foe. I don't think Michigan State is they're used to Indiana being this good. Jackson being the backup quarterback behind Curtis Rourke, it does not change anything with that Signetti offense.
It
Everybody
does
else is
not
healthy and they're balling. And
does not
Oregon
change
going
anything.
to Michigan in the big house. I kind of would say that, but it being a big house game because that Michigan defense will present a challenge to Oregon, but Oregon, I think, just wears them out later on. Now, I think it'll be a good game for maybe a half, maybe a half. But after that, I think Oregon tends to pull away in that game and it covers whatever the spread is. I think they got them by like 3 touchdowns past the controller status on that game. But yeah, because Michigan's quarterback problem is just a problem. Like it is. It is. I mean, you could have got a multiple true freshman out there, a 3-star, true freshman quarterback from Michigan, and that would have probably boosted that team better than what your actual quarterback is
They
doing.
could have got somebody from the portal.
Right,
Y'all look Michigan.
right.
I mean, again,
Yes.
I
Yes.
know one of the things that people are trying to do, and I'm trying to do it. I've done it, right? We're
Yep.
trying to get behind the brothers, right? We don't want all the spotlight shouldn't go to Deion Sanders, right? So, but Sherrone Moore, I do gotta offer you some criticism here. You're the defending national champion.
Cooked.
You do not go into the follow-up season with Alex Orji as a quarterback and Davis Walk-on Warren, who just retired from football. He literally just retired for health concerns.
All
So
right.
so think about that for a second. Like, so you mean to tell me? Think about this though. Think about this though, Trucker, for instance, right? Kirk Signetti just goes to Indiana, and what does Kirk Signetti do? All he does is go get the best G5 quarterback on the market. That's all he does.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
mean to tell me Michigan, defending national champion, y'all couldn't have went and got Curtis Roy?
Couldn't got a quarterback. Somebody,
I mean, I, I
some.
mean, I mean, y'all are Michigan. Y'all just won the national championship.
Listen, I hear that they have enrollment problems over at Michigan. Like they're very picky on who they want to bring in as far as GPA, and the enrollment is ruining that football team. Is why Michigan players, a lot of Ohio State players, even in guys from Michigan, from that area of Ann Arbor, Detroit, and so forth and so on, that don't have the certain grades with admissions is a problem with Michigan. I heard that from a person who just loves Michigan in and out and through. Matter of fact, I will give him a shout out. Lawrence, what are you? You know what I'm saying? I had a nice conversation with him. I won't put everything out there, of course, but he did tell me that, he's been following Michigan forever, and they have an admissions problem going on up there and that's why that quarterback problem is the way it is. Once they start loosening up with that and getting more with not being so picky, and let Sharon Moore and that staff up there bring the guys in they want in there. And I think that Michigan's team will change. But up until that happens, Michigan will stay stagnant and wounded in that certain area. You feel what I'm saying? So that's
I
why I'm
can't,
getting
I can't, I can't buy that, Trucking. I'm gonna tell
uh,
you why I can't buy that.
why is that?
Because Duke has those same standards. They got Malik Murphy.
Right.
Miami has those standards. We got Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Texas has very high academic standards as well. There's a lot of schools out here that have high academic standards, and guess what? Their
Mm-hmm.
quarterback play does not look like Michigan. So all of these very smart players that are coming from high school, that are at these other lower level schools, that
Mm-hmm.
have the ability to have intellect or whatever the situation is, there's no excuse for this to be the no. I'm not buying it.
They're not
If
making
you're
that exception for athletes. Like Duke has made that exception, but Michigan's not.
but
I don't know why.
no, this is what I'm saying. But Malik Murphy left a very elite academic school in the University of Texas at Austin and went to
Okay.
another elite academic program in the University of Duke.
Right.
I can't speak about Washington State academics, but I know Miami has high standards. Georgia Tech has high standards. Like the ACC, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people were speaking about the ACC moving more so to the Big Ten, because the academic standards are alike. Again, Vanderbilt, very high academic standards. Y'all go get Diego Pavia. Vanderbilt looks like a completely different program.
Right.
Y'all are the national champions, man.
They gotta they gotta make that.
If think about this for a second, Chuck, and I may be going a little bit overboard. If it wasn't for Florida State playing as poorly as they are, Michigan not having a quarterback after JJ McCarthy would be the biggest disappointing story in college football this year.
Yeah, I guess.
If it wasn't, if thank Florida State, if it wasn't for Florida State being awful, we got to sit here and figure out how in the world y'all start a quarterback for one or
Wow.
two games. He says, you know what? I need to retire, which again, you got to value your health, young man. If you feel like injuries or,
Yeah.
you know, you at Michigan, so I'm sure you got the alumni. They're gonna take care of you. I'm sure you're majoring in something that's gonna take care of you for the rest of your life. So you're not tripping about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But y'all literally went into the season. And again, shout out to Alice Orgy, right? Shout out to Alice Orgy. You were the quarterback to help upset USC. So that you will be remembered in infamy for that, which I don't really know how much a USC victory means nowadays, but
Right.
that's a
You
whole
don't
nother
mean
discussion.
nothing, but they need a quarterback up there, nonetheless, in Michigan. So they need to hop in the portal, get that quarterback position taken care of, and get some guys up in there from the area that want to play for the school. Stop letting them sneak and go to other schools. Ohio State bullies everything in that area, including Cincinnati, um, and everything else that's surrounding them. Man, they need to start locking down some of those guys. That is Michigan, the University of Michigan, Big Blue, and the big house today though. But I don't know. I think like I that defense I like, but yeah, we going with Iowa State. They're most likely to be upset today.
You
That
go with
doesn't
Iowa
mean
State.
they will be upset. All right, good conversation. I like that, bro. Now we can get into our game picks for today. First game
Mm.
on the slot, we have yes, sir, is Ohio State at Penn State today, and they are also an undefeated team. I don't have them on there. I didn't have them up on the most likely to be upset today as an undefeated team, but still, Ohio State, Will Howard, the way that Will Howard has been playing, I think that he's decent for that offense. The way that Ohio State played versus Nebraska, if that team shows up against this resilient Penn State team, they lose that game. They cannot go out there and play the way they did versus Nebraska and expect a win versus this Penn State team. And that offensive coordinator over there at Penn State is doing a great job at getting 44 open. He did 44. You got to know where he's at on the field. Take a lot of you know, pressure off that quarterback at Penn State. And look, they got the faster guy in there. I think that Drew Aller is hurt right now. I don't or going through got some little punk nagging injury or something going on. So I think they're going with
Yeah.
their backup number 9. He's a lot more mobile guy in the game. I do think Penn State. I gotta rock with Penn State in this game. Both of these head coaches need this game. This game right here has huge implications right here. Both of the fan bases, they both got the thing. You can't get the big game. Eh, Ohio State fans, Ryan Day's job damn near depends on winning this game. If they lose this game, Ohio State will not. They probably won't go to the college football playoff, bro. If they lose this game if they lose this game. So I don't think that they can afford to lose this game, Shad. But I'm leaning with Penn State in this game. They're at home. I think it's going to be a heck of a roaring crowd, 100,000 plus in that stadium. I'm going with Penn State, man.
Okay. Um. Personally, man, I'm gonna go with Ohio State.
Mm,
I just feel like in a game like this, if you're telling me Drew Aller's not gonna play, I mean, I have to go with Ohio State. One of the things that I've noticed, at least just kind of looking at the box score of a couple of Ohio State games this season, it looks like Cornell Tate is getting a little bit more involved in the offense, stepping up as the number 2 receiver, or at least the number 3 receiver, behind Abuka as well as Jeremiah Smith. And so I think that's big for them, and I think it's gonna be big for Will Howard because I know a lot was made about Cornell Tate even last year about how well he was playing. Um, but and I know this wasn't a part of the thing, but I look at Ohio State offense the same way I look at Oregon in terms of it should be a lot better than what it is, right?
mhm.
And but for different reasons. I think Oregon's offense should be much better simply because of the receivers that you have. Ohio State offense should be much better because of the running backs you have. Like on paper, you have the best 2 running backs in college football on the team together, like the best duo. You don't have the best individual running backs if you're going individual to individual, but y'all had the 2 best running backs duo in college football. And just kind of looking ahead at Ohio State schedule, um, They got a big matchup, with currently unranked Indiana before they play Michigan. And I wouldn't disagree with you by you saying that if they were to lose this particular game, then they could effectively be out of the college football playoff simply because I think when you look at it, when the season started, I think, at least my perspective, I felt like, all right, well, the SEC and the Big Ten, they're probably gonna get three, maybe even four teams. One
Mm-hmm.
of those, whichever one proves to be the stronger conference, they're gonna get four teams, and then the other one's gonna get three. ACC will get a team, Big 12 will get a team, and then everything else will shake out like that. But if Ohio State were to lose to Penn State today, effectively that would put them, because they're already fourth right now. They're already fourth in the Big Ten rankings. So you would have essentially lost to Penn State and Oregon,
Right.
um, which are obviously two of the better teams in the Big Ten, and that makes that matchup against Indiana um, very important. But from a playoff
Yeah.
perspective, it's like, well, maybe the Big Ten, y'all just get two teams, and then we may reward the ACC or reward the Big 12 and let them get two teams in there, because the way the ACC is shaking out, not to move ahead, but the way it's shaping out is like they very well are deserving to have two teams in there themselves. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so a lot rides on Ohio State coming out and winning this game. Um, but getting to kind of get back over the James Franklin aspect, James Franklin needs this game more, in my opinion. He needs this game more because his record against Ohio State and Michigan is abysmal. To get a game to win a game like this will do wonders for James Franklin,
All
right?
right.
James Franklin has been so close with this Penn State program. They've been so close for quite a few years. Even going back to the Trace McSorley and Saquon Barkley years, even the games, even the years where they had Sean Clifford um, at quarterback, and now you
All
got
right.
Drew Aller. So it's time to get over the hump, James Franklin, but I I
He
just can't, because Ohio State is just it's just more talented than you
Yeah,
are.
they are more talented, Shad. They are more talented, but for some reason that culture has not been built up there. I got to talking about a little bit of culture yesterday in certain with certain teams, and I gave props to Dion. I gave props to Cristobal. I gave props to Sarkeesian, and I gave props to Dabo Sweeney. The culture at Ohio State, he got to get those players under control. He got a team full of superstars, over 20 something $1 million roster up at Ohio State. They better win. They spent a lot of money, that collective did at Ohio State. But the thing is, and correction with Drew Aller. So Drew Aller, he is a game time decision. So all week long, this Ohio State defense not only had to lock in, but they had to prepare for both quarterbacks. They had to prepare for both quarterbacks, not knowing if Drew Aller is healthy enough to play because he's a game time decision, right? And then on top of that, number nine being he can't make all the throws Drew Aller can make. He don't have the arm Drew Aller can make, but what he lacks in arm, he compensates for with his athleticism. He is a straight up beast. He can get it done with his legs. And that talent on Penn State, I think they're pretty evenly matched there. We forget that Penn State, that James Franklin went out in the transfer portal and got an AJ Harris from Georgia, that he went and picked that Abdul Carter in that defensive line, and that in Abdul Carter on the defensive line hasn't been the most talked about defensive line for Penn State lately. So I think they're pretty evenly matched when it comes to talent. And he was built in for these games, Penn State and Michigan State. And I don't think that nobody was had Oregon on a back burner like, oh, they played for the pretty Pac-12. They not ready for our ball. I think they didn't expect that to happen. Oregon. We'll talk about that another time. But he is a game time decision, and I just think Penn State got the edge in this game, man. Like I think so, man. I think so, and I took Ohio State to win the Big Ten, and I may have been wrong, but if and I will say this, if Ohio State does win this game, I don't think it takes Penn State out of the college football playoff.
Nah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough. We'll move
yeah,
on to the next one. And
yeah.
we got
But
the
yeah,
Hurricanes and Duke.
yeah. But let's jump on three of these prop bets for the game.
Oh, for
Basic,
the
just
Ohio State game?
yeah, just basic over unders. I'm just gonna pick three. You know what
Okay,
I
go ahead and
mean?
do your thing, dog.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you. They got Katron Allen over under 58 and a half yards rushing. You taking the over or the under on that?
Over 58 with Katron Allen.
58 and a half.
58 and a half on that Ohio State defense. I would the man, that's a tough one. They be knowing what they doing with them prop bets, I tell you that. But 58 yards with Katron Allen, they he gotta get it in 20, he gotta get it in like 15 carries on Ohio State. I'll take the over on that because what we seen with Oregon and Ohio State in that Ohio State game, Oregon was able to run the ball on them on that edge. And I think Katron Allen is a good edge runner, especially when they hit that outside zone with him. I think and Ohio State's offensive line is a little more been together longer. They got more cohesion together. So yeah, I'll take the over on Katron Allen, man.
All
And
right, I'll take the over as well. All right, Will Howard over under 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Will Howard will have over. He'll have 2 passing touchdowns against Penn State. I think he could do that. I'll take the over.
I'm going to take the under.
Okay.
I'll take the under. Last one, Jeremiah Smith, 70.5 yards receiving, over under.
I think he's like they Swiss Army knife for that offense, man. I think that you gotta Quinshawn Junkins gotta get rolling. They gotta put the ball in Jeremiah Smith's hands a little bit more. He's a dynamic freshman, but in this game with Penn State, I think I have to take. You said 75 yards,
70.5.
70.5 yards.
Yeah. So basically, will it be
Uh,
70? Will it be 71 yards, or do you think it'll be 70 yards?
I think he'll get it. I think he'll get it. I'll take the over.
You take the over? I'm gonna take the over too. I think he's just simply unguardable.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it.
Simply unguardable.
All right, so we got the Duke and Miami game. So you're gonna get some bets ready for that one too. Some props for that.
I got him ready.
All right, bet. Duke and Miami. Duke and Miami. Look, man, this game, me following you being a Miami Hurricanes fan, me listening to you, South Coast Kane, Coach Hayes, a lot of y'all Miami fans. Shout out to Law Dog. Man, Manny Diaz used to coach for the Miami Hurricanes. This is like a rivalry game to a Miami Hurricanes fan. So this game means a lot to Miami with knowing the implications and beating Manny Diaz. This is one game y'all didn't want to lose. But Duke's defense is better than a lot of other defenses out there. They are. I think they're up there with a lot of the better defenses that I have faced so far.
Yeah,
Duke's defense, but I don't think that Duke's offense is good enough for Miami's defense, and I think that's where lies the problem. I think that getting Malik Murray off his spot is easier. I don't. He's not consistent back there at all. Um, and I have seen Miami get gashed by the run game, but I don't think that Star Thomas is a Bashul Tutin, and however you pronounce his name. I do think that Miami will win this game, and I'm going to take Miami to win this game. Uh, I think it's going to be a tough one, but I will say this though. I don't know what the let me what's the coverage on this? Let me see what the points was on this game. What was the
oh,
points on that Miami game? Because I do think that I do
I
think that
don't
they'll
know.
cover this. I'm about to check it right now because I think it was. I don't want to guess wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it was. I'm about to check it right now for you, bro. I got it. I got it. I'll get it pulled up. But I think it was like 20 points or something like that. And I think that they can cover that, bro. I,
20.
yeah, bro. It's 20 and a half points. Duke at Miami is 20 and a half points. I'll take Miami to win
20 and a
overall,
half.
but I'm taking Duke in the points on the spread. So if you putting your money down, I think that's a giveaway.
Yo, yo,
I
that's
think
crazy.
that's a big giveaway right there. So you got 3 touchdowns for Duke and Miami. So I would take Duke in the 20 and a half, y'all. That's
Yo,
a good
that
bet for me.
is,
I'm
bro,
just
are you
saying.
serious?
I think so. Yeah.
20 and a half?
Yes. Hold on. Let me get it pulled. Let me pull it up for you, man, so that you don't think I'm lying here, or
No,
you
bro,
think I'm bad with
bro,
you.
that's, bro, that's
Yes, bro.
crazy.
Yes, bro. 20 and a half off FanDuel. Here.
What are they watching?
You see it? 20 and a
I'm,
half.
let me, because the way my phone is set up, I can't, I have to scroll down.
20 and a half points, y'all. Duke and
Bro, that
Miami.
is,
It's right there on your screen. That's easy money out there, y'all.
bro, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. What
Oh
up?
my
What up, Monk?
God.
Don't give a damn. What's going on, man?
Oh my God. Bro, they just threw something out there just then with that.
Yeah, it's
Bro,
crazy.
bro, no, I'm not, no, I'm not even a gambler, but somebody, you supposed to stay away from something like that. They should have gambled that down by now.
I don't know.
I don't know, but in any regard,
So what you? I mean, you're a Miami fan, and you saying that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
bro, that's crazy. I
Yeah,
mean, we haven't, again, obviously, we did what we did to Florida State last year, but last week, their offense is putrid. But when you look at the other ACC teams that we played since conference play has started, like, we have not beaten a team by more than two possessions. So I don't know why they're looking at the Duke game as the game to say, oh, well, finally Miami's going to do this and the defense is going to step in. Uh, Duke played against a very talented and skilled SMU offense last week. They forced 3 turnovers from Kevin Jennings. They ended up losing the game. Obviously, our offense, based on statistics, is the best offensive in all of college football. We're running the ball better now, which I've told some of my compadres that, hey, and this is just not me being a diehard fan, but it was like, bro, if we want to run the ball, we're gonna run the ball. It's like
right.
it's I don't think it's a situation of teams are preventing us from running it. We're just not putting the emphasis on running the ball. But with that being said, obviously, yeah, I'm picking Miami to win. It's gonna be an emotional game. Manny Diaz did the press, was asked about it, and he said, he's pretty much at peace right now. But obviously, you're supposed to say that as a coach, right? But I can only imagine what he's doing. And again, I'm not gonna try to do revisionist history in terms of my feelings about Manny Diaz. I wasn't very pleased with his tenure here for a multitude of reasons that I don't have to get into now. But I will say this: the way that his firing or his replacement, went. You're out recruiting for the school while they're actively, in contract negotiations with a man that's 2,000 miles away, maybe even
Yeah.
3,000 miles away in Eugene, Oregon. So, I mean, that was pretty much kind of a slap in the face. I don't think they have the team to match up with us, honestly. I really don't. But again, at the same time, I mean, I don't think any of the teams that we played this year had the team to match up against us. But here we are. They matched up against us, and we need our Heisman Trophy quarterback to be what's the famous magician name? What's his name?
David Blaine.
David Blaine. He got to be David Blaine, which I'm sure you got to be David Blaine this game. Again, like you
Chris
said,
Angel.
yeah, Chris Angel, like that's what he has to be, like literally. You know what I mean? So I think Duke defense is going to be, they're going to be ready to play. I know what type of scheme Manny Diaz runs, which I think will bode well for our run game because I think some of the same, which I will say this, it was cleaned up at Penn State for the 2 years, and but I don't want to get into my spiel about Manny Diaz, but I do think it's going to be interesting to see how this game plays out.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
I don't think, I mean, all the games I watch for our defense, I'm not confident that they're going to just shut this down like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
20.5 points, Lord. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's 20.5 points. I think that's easy money out there for y'all today with that Miami and Duke game.
Easy.
If you're
Easy
going with the
money.
money line, that is Miami or Duke to win overall. I would go with Miami to win the game, but I think that's minus 1,700.
Bro,
Um,
that's
and then you
crazy.
got I would take Duke in the 20.5. I think that's damn near giving you a little bit of money there. If you're gonna take that bet and put some money on it, yeah, I think that's easy to cover for Duke in that Miami game, even with Miami being at home. But this Ole Miss game, I'll let you take the lead on this one. I took the lead on the last two, so I'll let you take the
Yeah.
lead on this Ole
So
Miss and
let me
Arkansas game.
get these three prop bets out the way.
Oh, for
So
Miami
which
and Duke, right?
so we got Xavier Restrepo over under 76.5 receiving yards.
Oh, I'll take the over on that. Cam Ward spinning and Restrepo's his top target, so I'm gonna take the over on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over on there as well. Damon Martinez, 64.5 rushing yards.
Under.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under on that as well. I think the way our running back rotation is it's odd. You know what I mean? I know David
Uh-huh.
Martinez has had, two back-to-back good games. He's kind of, gotten into what he's want to do, but I do think it's going to be interesting this week. And lastly, Isaiah Horton, 50 over under 52.5 yards receiving.
I'll go Isaiah Horton. He gets his chances, so I'll say, you know what? I want to take the over on that because I think that he has to show up in a game like this today, and I think he knows that. So I'll go with the over on that. You know what I'm saying? I'll go with the over, but it's close. It's hard to say. Like I
Yeah.
said, y'all passed the ball, so I'll take the over on that.
I'm gonna take the under.
Okay.
I just think um I'm gonna take the under. I think this is a game where I think Jacoby George kind of gets a little bit more involved
Okay.
than he has been in the past couple weeks. So I'm gonna take the under
All
on
right.
that.
Y'all listen to Shad on that one now. He a Miami Hurricane fan.
No, 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 no,
Nah,
no,
you know them Hurricanes. You know them
no,
Hurricanes.
no, no. I'm just saying though, it's gonna be interesting.
You
So what's the next game? So
The
I
next
can get the
game
picks
is
together.
Ole Miss and Arkansas.
Mm, man, Ole Miss and Arkansas. I like I like Ole Miss, and I think Ole Miss has put themselves in a position with the two losses that they're on the outside looking in from a playoff berth. But I think it may be still a little bit open because I don't think. Obviously, you're looking at it right now. I guess you would have to say Georgia, Tennessee, right at the top of the SEC, and then you got to think about okay, who will be the third team. So you got a couple of teams competing for that third spot, which I think with LSU losing last week, that opened the door for Ole Miss to kind of you know, fall back in there. You know what I mean? To an extent. But I'm gonna take Ole Miss this game, man. Jaquindon Jackson is injured for Arkansas, even though his replacement came in and rushed for like 175 yards. Traylon Green had 5 total touchdowns last week, and I was just so pissed because I'm like, bro, I literally had you as my fantasy quarterback, and I let you go because you had played so bad in a couple of weeks behind it. But I just don't think Ole Miss defense is going to allow for him to just do the things that Mississippi State allowed for him to do. I think
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss is kind of locked back in, and I still do, and I still stand behind what I said. Even though they're kind of still on the outside looking in from what I said, but I still do think that right now in the playoff era, 2 losses is still considered just to be 1 loss. I think Ole Miss is the better team. I think again with Jaquindon Jackson being out, even though his replacement did rush for 175 yards last week against a putrid Mississippi State defense, I do have to put that out there. So I think it's going to be tough sledding against. It's going to be tough sledding against Ole Miss this week,
All
man.
right.
I
Yeah.
really do.
Now I don't give a damn, right? He said I can't even fathom picking at 20.5 points on that's not a smart spread to take that spread. Like why look, they're giving Duke 20.5 points over Miami. So Miami is already losing. If you take Duke in 20.5 points, Miami's already losing 20.5 to nothing. Why isn't that a smart bet? That's I mean, obviously you can't answer. I mean, you could type, but you know what I'm saying. I don't see why that's not a smart bet. I just don't see that. Like, I don't think it's a dumb bet. You would have thought last night taking San Diego State plus 24 against Boise State wasn't a taking Boise, like that was obviously going to happen. Boise was obviously going to get off. Everybody keeps sleeping on Boise's quarterback. He threw for over 300 yards last night. But anyway, I think that's a good pick. I think that's a damn good pick. One of the most hands down ones to take. But we're on this Ole Miss and Arkansas game, and I like Ole Miss quarterback Green. I like what he's up mobile and everything, but I do think that Ole Miss, they got to start showing up, man. This Ole Miss team got to start showing up. That's another team that went heavy in the transfer portal, spent a lot of money that's going at it. I had them winning the SEC. I could be wrong on that pick right now. I do think that maybe the SEC beats up on itself a little bit. But look,
Yeah,
man, and they have been, and we called that, and we called that preseason. I must say that because I did say that before the season even started. Now I'm not right on everything when it pertains to a lot of other teams, but hell, even some people who actually went to school for this and actually uh study this a lot more and have insiders were wrong, especially when it came to Colorado. They were wrong as hell. But of course, I'm going to take Ole Miss in this game. I'm going to take Ole Miss, man. I'm going with Ole Miss. Yeah, they got to win, dog. They got to win.
yeah.
Ole Miss has to win this game. You got
All
some
right.
over-unders for this one too?
Yeah. So
Okay.
over under Jackson Dart 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Over.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over on that as well. Over under Jackson Dart 286.5 passing yards.
Oh, oh, under. It's
Mm.
tough. It's tough. It's tough for me. You think he go for 300? You think he go for
You know
300 on
what?
the on
No,
the
I'm gonna be
defense?
honest with you. I'll take the under two because I do think Ole Miss. I think they'll be able to run the ball a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, Andrew Armstrong, wide receiver for Arkansas. Over under 80.5 yards receiving.
Oh, under.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under as well.
I'm gonna go
I don't
under
think.
with that. I'll go
Yeah, I'm
under
gonna go.
with that one.
Yeah, I don't think Tyler Green is gonna have as good of a game as he did last week
Yeah.
against the other Mississippi school.
Right. Let's get it.
So
Virginia Tech at Syracuse. Your Q's, Fran
okay,
Brown doing this thing, man. This game is well evenly matched. I think this is a good game, well even matched game here, ladies and gentlemen. I think it is, and I'm not going to lie about it. I think it's a good one. Um, Look, they both. I think, but their record. I got it pulled. I got it here somewhere. Oh yeah. So Virginia Tech is 5-3, 3-1 in the SEC, ACC. Syracuse is 5-2 and 2-2 in the ACC. Syracuse needs this game more. They're at home. Um, Pittsburgh put the beats on Syracuse. I think not
did they?
they
Good grief!
that defense, they beat them with a defense. That's it. That's defensively, they beat them. And I think that it shows some with the offense. Kyle McCord, I think his confidence got shook up a little bit last week. When you throwing 5 for 5 interceptions, there's no way that it can't happen. He's reevaluating himself, saying what he did wrong. I think he'll come out a lot better. But I do think that forces that offensive coordinator to call this game a little bit more conservative. That pass rush from
Mm,
um that pass rush for Virginia Tech is no joke. I mean, Rylan Powell is damn near one of the best pass rushers in college football, and
yes.
he gets a lot of help. And I think that hits home with them. Rashul Tootin is one of the best running backs in college football. They're able to run the ball, which takes a lot of pressure off of Tyron Jones, and for him to be a musician, as we're speaking about Cam Ward being a musician. But look, in this game, man, y'all know who I'm taking from the way that I'm talking. I'm taking Virginia Tech for the win, man, and I put bread on that too, anyway. So yeah, I'm taking Virginia Tech for the win.
I'm taking Syracuse. Um, I know what transpired last week. Um, Syracuse defense isn't as strong as I f- it isn't as strong as I thought it would have gotten over the course of the season. I know Kyle McCord threw the 5 interceptions last week, but I think that he's a tough-minded, young man. So I don't think he's going to allow for that to cloud his judgment. He still, and I'll say this, has the second best collection of weapons in the ACC.
Yeah,
So I think they get back on the roll. I do take into consideration what you said about the offensive coordinator calling the game a little bit more conservative because they do have one of the best running backs, not just in the ACC but in the entire country, in LaQuint Allen, and he is more than capable of doing what Brachel Tootin has done for Virginia Tech, and that is put the entire offense on his back and make something happen. But again, like you said, this is two evenly matched teams. So I mean, it's a 50-50 game in my
it
opinion.
is.
I'm taking Syracuse simply because I think I trust, and this may come off as it's crazy for me to say. I trust Kyle McCord a little bit more than I trust Kyron Drones.
Mm, okay,
And that's crazy
that
to
that
say
is
after
great.
That's crazy to say after a man just threw five interceptions last week. But I trust him a little bit more just because of the aspect that of the weaponry that he has around him. That's what
Yeah,
I
he
got.
got the weapons. He got the weapons, that's for sure. But if like you know what I'm saying, like they
All right, but
you
you
gotta
got
get to
yeah,
him. You
you
gotta
gotta
get
get
to
it to
Kyle
him. You
McCord.
gotta
You
get it to
gotta
him.
get to Kyle McCord and Virginia Tech. I think that they had that defensive line to do that. And but I do think that that'll force like you said, that'll probably force him to run the ball. And you know, and I do definitely do think he'll be conservative. You got some prop bets for this one too?
Yep, yep. So we'll start with this one. Since we're on the subject of Kyle McCord over under 302 302 and a half passing yards, 302 and a half passing yards, over under 302 yard, 302.
Under.
I'm with you on that one. I'm going to take the under as well. Like I said, I think this will be a game where I think LaQuint Allen is a little bit more involved in the run game. They also have a nice selection of running backs as well. Speaking of LaQuint Allen, over under 63 and a half yards rushing.
Over what?
63 and a half yards rushing.
Oh yeah, I'm
Over
going
under.
over
Going
with LeQuint.
over.
Yeah. Because they're
Yeah.
gonna call this game conservative. They're going to try to call a more balanced offense today. They're gonna put the ball in his hands. I think yeah, over. I'm going over.
Yeah, I'm going over as well. Not to leave VTech out in the cold. I'll go ahead and do two for them just to be fair. Over under Kyron Drones 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Oh, man. Damn, that's kind of tough. Because they know what they're doing with that. Shit. Oh man, I have to. I want to take the under, but I'll go over with that 1.5. I'll go over because I think that Bashir Tootin
Mm,
gets him in that red zone. He may be able to throw a couple pop passes or something like that. One and a half,
yeah,
1.5. So he got to get two passing touchdowns. I think
yeah.
that I'll go over.
I'm gonna go under. Um,
I ain't mad at that.
I'm gonna go under. Kyron Jones over under 195 and a half yards passing.
Who?
Kyron Jones
Oh,
over under 195 and a
that's
half yards
crazy
passing.
because he be right. He be somewhere right around there. I'll go under because he can run and I think he'll use his legs and maybe running a couple and two and he like touch man. Listen, I'll go under, bro.
I'm gonna go over actually
All right.
because I've watched Syracuse defense play, and I think that Cameron Jones will be able to get over. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go over on both my picks. On the last one, I
Yeah,
said under the
yeah.
one and a half.
I'm about to say
I'm gonna
because if
go
you gonna go over
over.
on
I'm gonna
the
go
basket,
over. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm
So
gonna go over. Yeah, I'm gonna go over
it's
on
same
both.
here with me because if I'm gonna go over with the 1.5 touchdowns, then he got to get over 189 for this game, this particular game.
Yeah,
So I'll go
yeah,
over as well on both of mine too, because yeah, I'm about to say because like if you gonna say over on 189 and he ain't gonna get two touchdowns, that's crazy.
yeah, yeah. No, but I know, like I know one of the things that he does though is he'll get the passing yards, and then, like you said, he'll throw one touchdown, but then he'll give you over. 1.5 on the ground. So that was
Yeah,
kind of my thinking. But now that
yeah,
I think about who they're playing defensively, yeah, he'll throw for 2 touchdowns.
for sure, for sure, for sure. All right, Florida and
Florida
Georgia.
and Georgia. Let me see.
Florida and Georgia. You go ahead. You take the hand.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm actually surprised that Florida is not in the same state of affairs that Florida State is in. I think many people are probably looking at their schedule right now, which they are just now about to get into the meat grinder of their schedule. But they're actually playing better. Which again, at the start of the season, I didn't think Florida was as bad as they were on paper. Going up against a Georgia team that has not looked as dominant as many people thought they were looking at. Obviously, this is a neutral site game that they'll be playing in Jacksonville. Carson Beck has shown the propensity to not be as sharp as he needs to be. I think looking at their performance against Kentucky, which you can't take too much away from that game because obviously this is a rivalry game. I
Mhm.
think Florida's playing a little bit better. Again, like I said, I think they're playing better than most people gave them credit for because again, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago there were rumors like, hey, they've got the money together by Billy Napier out. So Graham Mertz, hey, don't play the rest of the year. We're gonna get Lagway in here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, and like I said, with it, and this is what's so great about the parity in college football right now. It's like obviously 2 years ago, 3 years ago, no brainer, Georgia. But with what has transpired this particular season, I don't know. And I may get some flack for this, but I think I like the Gators.
Oh. And by the way, I want to read off a little so the over under in this game is 52 and a half over under point score, and uh Florida is 14 and a half underdogs in this game for the
Now
spread.
that's what now that's crazy. Like that our spread with Duke is more than this one right here.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know, but
I think the Gators. I think the Bulldogs being at home, and like I was saying at the beginning of
no,
this
it's a
year,
neutral site. It's a neutral site game.
oh,
They
it's a
always play in
neutral site.
Jacksonville. They
Oh, they
always
play
play in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Ooh, we I look, man. This is a game I would stay away from as far as betting on for real, because I mean they're familiar foes. This is kind of a rivalry game. To both fans, they love facing each other, and of a sport. So you know, I just it's a hard pick, but I got to go with the Bulldogs, man, because
Yeah,
the
it
simple
makes
fact,
sense. Yeah.
I'm going with the Bulldogs because I mean at the beginning of the season, like a lot of these players came back to win a national championship to Georgia. So they gotta prove themselves. And I think with a game like today, so I'm gonna go with the Bulldogs, man, in this pick in this game right here, man. You got some props for us, man, on this one?
All right, Carson Beck over under 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Uh in this game, Carson Beck. In order to win this game, Carson Beck that has to have 2 touchdowns. So I'll go over.
I will. I'll go over as well. I'll go over as well. Carson Beck over under 284 and a half passing yards.
Damn, I mean he gotta throw it all over the yard though, man. Um, in this game, he gonna have to though. 284.
And a
Um,
half and a half.
so he got to get 285 or 286 to get to beat it. So all right, so damn, I guess. Mm, under.
I'm gonna take the under as well. Trevor Etienne, who is a familiar face to the Florida Gators, over under 79 and a half yards rushing against his old team.
Mm, They gonna try to force him the ball. He got to step up, but I would take the over only because I'm waiting because you waiting for him to break one because he got that speed to break one, right? And I think that I seen
Yeah,
Florida let up some of those big runs this year. I think they had problems with stopping that a little bit. That Georgia O line, I go over with that.
yeah. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go under. I think they'll
Okay.
probably get. I think they've utilized a running back by committee approach. So I think they'll rotate their guys in. So I
All
think
right.
I'm gonna take the under on this game,
All
or
right.
at least on that particular prop, should I say?
Okay. I ain't mad at you for that one, man. I ain't mad at you. So the next game we got lined up here, folks, is Texas A&M, South Carolina. I had to put that up there. I had to put this
Ooh,
game up here. I had to put this game up here because now we in the last hour before the game starts. So we'll try. We got four more games to pick, and then we'll try to pick some little side ones or whatever for y'all. But look, man, and this game right here, Texas A&M being on the top of the SEC. I told y'all that the SEC will beat up on each other. They will win, lose, right? There's other teams like Ole Miss, like who else is right there? Missouri, like the teams that are right there at the top but are not right
yeah,
there. LSU,
LSU, LSU,
they
yeah.
need South Carolina to beat Texas A&M. Yeah, I look what you said last week, the week before about South Carolina's defense. Their defense is for real. Their defense is on point, like it really is. And if their QB, if their what sophomore quarterback can get it together, if he can take care of the ball, bro, like that team would be a lot better. For
They be
real.
undefeated. They be
Yeah,
undefeated.
like that defense is real, and I do think that Texas A&M they pose they're good, man. Texas A&M is good. They did lose to Notre Dame. They should be undefeated right now, but this that South Carolina defense is different, and they're at home, bro. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead, man. This my upset game for the day, man. I'm taking South Carolina at home for the upset, bro. I think they get
Okay,
it by 3 or less. So
okay.
I think it's one of those days, tricky things be happening after Halloween, man. Like teams lose, man, like and if you know what I'm saying for real, like like
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm going with not that I celebrate that or anything, but uh, I'm going with South Carolina, man. I'm at home for the
Okay, okay. I'm on the road A&M, man. I'm actually impressed with what they've been able to do. Like I said, I know some familiarity there because their head coach he helped recruit a lot of the players that are on the team. So
yeah,
they were already brought in, at least from a defensive approach, not necessarily offense, because he was primarily a defensive coordinator. Well, not primarily, but he was the defensive coordinator. But I'm just impressed at how Texas A&M is playing. It's still a crap ton of talent over there. I know we had a discussion, a very spirited discussion, I must say, prior to the season in reference to Texas A&M and their defensive line. And my whole thing was, hey, I don't want to hear anything about a defensive line being good based off high school rankings. I need to actually see it in game. And I mean, Texas A&M is playing well. And what stands out even more to that is the fact that their starting running back or their projected starting running back, I believe Reuben Owens, is out for the season, and Le'Veon Moss has stepped up and has played admirably in his place. So that just goes to show that there is, again, like I said, still a crap ton of
yeah,
talent still left on that team, and they've been able to get it together. Connor Wigman being in and out of the line, in and out of the lineup, and for them to just only have one loss when they were essentially as healthy as they were going to be going into the season. That just speaks wonders to what they've been able to do over there and what many people deem to be a very, very a very toxic environment dating back to when um I forgot my man name.
from where?
He was the black head coach for Texas A&M before Jimbo took over.
Oh, okay, yeah, you asked
Um,
the wrong
yeah,
person.
his yeah. But anyway, it's been a toxic environment over there since then, so it doesn't look very toxic now. But like I said, I'm gonna take A&M. I know South Carolina defense is just it is so it's so good, man. Like
It
it,
is.
they're so really good. Like I really feel like obviously if they had an offense, then they would hands down, in my opinion, be the best team in the SEC right now. But they just don't. Their quarterback situation is just going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm gonna take Texas A&M in that game.
All right. You got some props?
We got the props. So we're gonna start with Le'Veon Moss. Over under 82 and a half yards rushing against the vaunted South Carolina defense.
Under.
I'm with you. I'm gonna go under on that. Let me see. Rocket Sanders, which is the starting running back for South Carolina, over under 44 and a half yards rushing against Texas A&M.
Over.
I'm going to take the over as well. I do believe they're probably going to stack the box, but I do think Rocket is going to be able to get his. And the last one we're going to do for this game, we're going to go with Amari Daniels over under 37 and a half yards rushing
And
against the vaunted South Carolina defense. I'm going to take the under on that one.
are you?
I'm
All
going to
right.
take under.
All right. Well, I just roll with that then, because me, I probably 37 and a half is different from 77. So I think I would have took the over, but that's what it is. Next up,
Yeah,
next game on the slot, game 7.
it's a good
3 more
game.
to go.
It's a good game.
Louisville at Clemson. They are going. This game is going down. It's going down. Dabo, I gave him big props on the culture that he's built over there, not going in the transfer portal, keeping his team the way that it was. And look, they're one of the best team in college football right now. They're a high favorite. I think it's a 14. I think they're giving them 14 points in this game. Let me double check it. No, 10 and a half. So the
Okay.
spread is 10. The Louisville is 10 and a half point underdogs in this game. The over under is at 62 and a half points in this game because they believe that both teams will be able to score. Look, man, I like what Dabo doing over there. I'm gonna make this quick, man. I'm going with Clemson to win this game, man. And that spread is tricky though, 10 and a half. But I do think that I think that Clemson got it going on, man. I keep wanting to say South Carolina because they're right there, but you know what I mean. Yeah, man, I think they got it going right now. I like what they built over there as far as that team and the way that it looks. Clay Klubnik, he's another one of those quarterbacks. I think that I wouldn't be mad at people putting him in a mention for Heisman. Um, if they went out or whatever he and how he's playing and how he seems to be getting better every week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Every week, Cape Klubnik seems to be progressing in his game, and I like that about him. So I'm definitely going with Clemson in this one, man. It's hands down Clemson to
I'm
me.
gonna go with Clemson as well. Louisville in each one of their step up in competition games, they've lost. From Notre Dame to losing to Miami to losing to SMU. So they have not been able to step up when it was time to step up to an opponent that had equal or more talent than them. I think Brian Brom is doing a fantastic job. Isaac Brown, probably the best freshman player in the ACC, bar none. But I don't. I think Clemson is determined. I think they've been able to take in all of the outside noise and use that as motivation, especially after the way they opened the season up against a University of Georgia team that, in my honest opinion, I think if they were to play right now, I think the game looks a hell of a lot different.
All right. Like,
Yeah.
who's the props? Who's some of the props you got for us today?
So we're gonna start off with Phil Maffa. Over under 97 and a half yards rushing.
Mm, over.
I'm gonna take the over as well. I do think they're gonna be able to run the ball. Uh, Next one, Chris Bell, wide receiver for Louisville, over under 41 and a half yards receiving.
Over.
Okay, I'm gonna take the over as well. Um, Last one. Antonio Williams, wide receiver for Clemson, over under 56.5 yards receiving.
Over.
I'll take the over as well.
Because I think it's gonna be one of those games. It's like they know what they're doing. It's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be 60. What it was, 62 and a half or over. In that game, I think it'll be close to that. I think both teams could score 4 touchdowns apiece in this game. But I do think Clemson will score like I don't know 5 touchdowns, maybe 3 field goals, and so what that's like 40 some points. I think they could score that, and I think that Louisville scores, maybe 21, maybe 21 in this game. So I think they'll be pretty close in that 62 and a half somewhere.
Yeah.
I think so. So yeah, the offense, I think both teams would be able to produce a little bit of offense in this game, but Clemson got that defense that'll lock down on them, man. So another matchup that's not a top 10, but it's a well matched teams. I think they're both like five and I think they both like the record is like 5-3 or something like that. Let me get the exact record. I could pull it up real quick, flat down here on the screen. And get their record. What is it? The Iowa and Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
All right, let me see. Okay, yeah, Iowa, Wisconsin. They playing at 7:30. They're both 5-3 and 3-2 in the Big Ten. They have that same identical record. These teams do. I think they're both well evenly matched. Iowa's offense has gotten a little stagnant lately, not being able to move the ball as much as well, kind of looking like the old Iowa game. Um, Wisconsin has their offense has gotten better every week, and that's
Mm.
what you want in college football, right? You want your team to be getting better. Like you don't I don't it doesn't matter if you got 4 and 5 stars. You just want your team to progress. You don't want them to digress or stay the same. Like you want them to get better. Like somebody has to be getting better offensively and defensively in college football week to week. And I think that Wisconsin is the perfect example from that. Looking early in the season, looking at them playing Alabama the way that they did, and they got blown out by Alabama, but then seeing the way that this team has been able to progress, run the ball, pass the ball to backup Tyler Van Dyke going out, TVD going out, and the backup quarterback coming in and running that offense and being efficient. And he spent a lot of time with these ones. And I don't think that you take Tyler Van Dyke and place him as the starting quarterback. It's sad to say, but he may be having to go down to some G5 team and give them some kind of hopes right now. I hate to say that if he's going to come back and play football, because that backup quarterback at Wisconsin has won that team over. That team is comfortable playing with them. I think that Wisconsin is just as dangerous as um, anybody in the Big Ten, to be honest. Look, and I say that because we've seen them play Penn State, right? And Penn State is a good team. Wisconsin is what is that? That's Luke Fickle over there, right?
Fickle.
And the way that he has his staff and his teams prepared for other teams, I'm seeing the magic in the way he runs and the way he coaches, man. His teams get better. In Wisconsin, I think is they can spoil your season if you're not able to play them. But look, I got Wisconsin in this game, even though Jay Higgins is one of the top linebackers in the country, and I do think that he'll probably be a first round pick. If Jay Higgins for Iowa, that middle linebacker keeps playing the way he playing, he definitely will be a first round pick in this upcoming draft. 2025, but yeah, I'm going with Wisconsin in this game, man. I think it's a good one though at 7:30, and I think that's why they got it on a late slot because it's going to be a good game. Um, but I'm going with Wisconsin away in the game.
Yeah, I'm going Wisconsin as well. Like you said, Iowa has somewhat regressed back into what they've been for the past couple of years in terms of their offense. I think Caleb Johnson is still going to get his, but it's not going to be enough to to beat the Badgers.
To beat the Badgers. You got some props for us on this one?
So I got Caleb Johnson over under 104.5 yards rushing.
Caleb Johnson, he will have that. Well, it's going to be clear. He will have that because they're going to force him the ball. He is their offense. They got to get him going. They will
Yeah.
hand him the ball over and over and over. And if he got to have 50 carries and 104 yards, he will get that. So I think that's a
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get it because I didn't know I didn't notice this until I was watching them play Michigan State, where Michigan State was obviously Michigan State won the game, but they allowed for him to get loose down the sideline, and I did not know that young man was that fast. Caleb Johnson is a Caleb Johnson is a burner. He's a burner. So, Will Pauling over under 45 and a half yards receiving.
And that's Wisconsin, right?
I believe so.
Um, oh man, 45 yards. I go over.
I think I'm going to go over as well. And we'll go Will Pauling again. Does Will Pauling score?
Oh, um, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Which
I don't think so. I wouldn't take them to score on them, but to get the yards, yeah, because I think they like to run the ball too. So if they get in the red zone, 10 minus yard line, they'll run the ball. So
I think he's going to score. I think he's
okay,
going to score.
all right,
I think
okay,
he's going to score.
all right.
Yeah.
Bet that up. Next game we got on the slot, bro. The Wildcats and the Vols. This is a rival game, right? And I'll let you take it from there.
I mean, I'm taking Tennessee. I think obviously, I think obviously again, we've been somewhat impressed with what Kentucky's been able to do. They upset Ole Miss, and then they played Georgia very very close. But I think
The team has
they've
digressed, right?
I think they played their best football already in terms of matching up again. And every time we talk about Tennessee, I'm going to say the same thing every single week. If you're not able to get Nico off of his spot, you're not going to beat Tennessee at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got their defense starting on one of my fantasy teams this week, Tennessee's defense, and I think Kentucky's offense is putrid. And you're going up against probably statistically one of the best defenses in all of college football. They're fresh off of a bye week, so they've had time to any little bumps and bruises that they've had. They understand that the SEC is still wide open; it's theirs to take. If you
Mm-hmm.
know, so I'm gonna take Tennessee. I'm gonna take Tennessee. Like I
Look,
said, I just think their defense and offense is just gonna be too much for Kentucky to contend with.
okay, I ain't mad at that, bro. I like that. Like, you know what? With Tennessee, right? Let me quote this, right? Let me quote this because they got they got Kentucky today, then they got Mississippi State. They do play Georgia, then they got UTEP, then they got Vandy, right? I
Oh
will
man,
say this. I will say this, right? They got Georgia. That is Nico's Heisman talk game. You got Tennessee sitting at 6-1 right now. Possibly they're not overlooking Kentucky because it is a rivalry game. But Nico has when they play Georgia, that's his moment to go ahead and get some type of credibility for the Heisman case, right? Why isn't Nico talked about a little bit more in this? There's a lot of players, quarterbacks, um, running back, that quarterbacks that should be mentioned, but I think that Nico is another one of those guys like Shador Sanders who should be mentioned a little bit more when we talking Heisman, especially if he's able to play Georgia very well and what he does in that Georgia game. But it starts today. These last 5 games that he has left, like I said, once again, that's Kentucky, Mississippi State, Georgia, UTEP, and Vandy. And look, I like Nico, what he's been able to do. I picked against Tennessee a couple of times. I don't think I'm going to do that today. I do like them in this Kentucky game because I think that Kentucky's defense, I think that Kentucky has gotten worse, man. I don't think that they're getting better. I don't see Kentucky getting better. I just talked about how important that is in college football, but I have not seen them getting better at all. And I don't think it starts today with this Kentucky, with this Tennessee team. They're good. They're good all across the board. They really are. And they showed me that at being able to be resilient in that win over Florida. That those games like that to me matter a lot. And by the way, Vanderbilt is a lot better than what a lot of us out here is
yeah.
giving them credit for. I
Yeah,
think
they
it's
are.
about time for us to stop saying that they got lucky and just recognize that Vanderbilt has put together a good football team with going into the G5 level and being able to go get some of those skill guys and some of those whoever they got up out from the G5 level. That team has gotten better. Period. Um,
Yeah,
you got some
yeah,
props for us?
yeah. But the one thing I want to say about Nico,
Uh
I
huh.
think that the Georgia game, Georgia has the personnel to get Nico off his spot. So I think obviously it's not a game we're going to pick yet
Hmm.
because it hasn't been played, but I think Georgia has all of the personnel and the weaponry to get Nico off his spot, and I don't think Nico is going to really reach his, which I don't think he's going to reach his full potential in college anyway. But I think that he's going to be so much better next year in his second year of starting, to where I think is going to move away from getting him off of his spot and the deep offense being so based on timing to the point that Nico can get off schedule and the offense is still effective and it's still going to be very dangerous with the timing.
Right.
But as far as the props, Nico.
You know what though, bro? Hold up. Before we go into the props, because I like that what you were talking about right there, and that's why I said that I was mentioning. I didn't mention all of that, and I'm glad that you did bring that up because I didn't mention a lot of that. But that's why I said that that game will put him in that conversation. Now, obviously, him being an underclassman, I don't think that maybe it'd probably be tough for him to win that trophy. I don't think we
Oh
have seen
yeah,
that done in a long time, but the fact that they have all the pieces to not knock him off his spot to shut down that pass and attack from Tennessee is why I think that if Nico shows up in that game, now I don't think that he necessarily has to win, but if he wins that game, if Tennessee is able to win that game, and largely because Nico and the Nico played well, I think that that puts him over the top because they have all the pieces, like how you said, bro.
yeah, yeah. Nico, over under 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Over.
Now, what's interesting about this is Nico does not have a multi passing touchdown game the entire season.
I, I don't know over on this Kentucky defense.
So, but I'm gonna take the over as well. I'll take the over as well because it's Kentucky. Uh Nico, over under 204.5 yards passing,
Over.
which again is interesting because Nico does not have a single 200-yard passing game.
That's crazy, but I'm going over.
So we are banking on the bye week and Kentucky just defense just not being there. This is I didn't know Nico was playing this average.
Well,
But
because he's just taking care of the ball, like that. Like they
yeah, I
have
mean
not
that's what he's
turned that
doing.
offense
Yeah,
over to him just yet. Like back him
yeah,
being an underclassman, you know what I'm saying, and being still young. So, but he has shown up in big moments, though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not.
yeah,
I don't think it's so much the stats with Nico. I just think the way that he plays and when he's able to be called upon to make a play, he's been able to do that.
yeah. Um, I'm kind of looking at these stats. I think I'm gonna take the under.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I ain't
take
mad
the
at
under.
you. I mean, look, the stats is the stats. I
Yeah,
ain't mad at you for
yes,
taking.
yeah. I didn't know the stats look like that. That's interesting. Last one, Dylan Sampson, their big time running back, over under 110.5 yards rushing.
Well, obviously he's been going over that. If Nico been playing the way he been playing,
Most,
I haven't recognized that. So guess I have to
yeah,
say that he's going over that against Kentucky.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take the over on that as well. And then just another one just for ish and giggles. Nico over under 22.5 yards rushing.
I think that he got I would say so. Okay, so if the stats is telling me otherwise about him going over and under with the passing yards, I would have to switch my touchdowns and over. I would stay away from that, but you probably want to take the under because the stats and his statistics have been telling you that. But this Kentucky defense and him being the way it is, he has to show he got better. He'll go over that. If he's going to drop back and pass, if it's not there, he got to take off and run 22 yards with Nico. He's capable of doing it. And
Yeah.
college quarterbacks run a lot, so you'll yeah, I'll go. I'll be safe and take that over. I'll take the over on
Okay. And just for source ranking, Nico only has 2 games in which he's rushed for over 25. He only has 2 games in which he's rushed for over 18 yards.
All right. So if they get him off his spot, he got to roll. So
Yeah.
let's hope that Kentucky get him off of that. But I normally don't like taking quarterbacks personally to to rushing yards. I don't like taking quarterback for rushing yards. I stay away from that on props all the time, even in the NFL, because they're only going to certain quarterbacks are only going to run if they're forced to run. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because so I like staying away from the quarterback props, rushing yards. I don't rushing yards are meant for running backs, not for quarterbacks. Period in my eyes. So that's just the
Most
way I
definitely.
yeah. But that's it right there for the props on that game. Now our last game we got right here on the schedule, y'all, is Pitt at SMU, the undefeated. I forgot to put Pitt in there. They are an undefeated team that is most likely to be upset today. I think I forgot to put them in that. I forgot to put them in that, bro.
Tall task for SMU.
If I would have asked you that question earlier, which team is most likely to be undefeated team most likely to be upset today out of Oregon, Indiana, Iowa State, and Pitt, you probably would have took Pitt, huh?
Nah, man, 'cause Eli Hostin is a whole beast out here, man. He
You
love
like Eli Holston, huh? You like the New Jersey kid, huh?
Eli Hostin ain't to be played with right now.
That man. If
He's
Pitt
not.
can somehow finagle their way out of this one, man. If they could somehow finagle and get a win in this game, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. If they can get a win in this one, bro. I think that let me take a look at this schedule real quick before we get up into this game because if I'm not mistaken, let me see the last couple games that they got, and I'll pull it up for everybody too, so everybody can see it on the screen. By the way, okay. Pitt's last remaining games is SMU, Virginia, Clemson, Louisville, and at Louisville and at Boston College. So they're at SMU today,
Oh
then they got
man,
Virginia at home, Clemson at home, at Louisville, and at Boston College.
it's an interesting schedule.
Yes, it is.
So basically, Pitt, SMU, and Clemson are in position to decide one of the teams that's going to be in the ACC championship game. We don't play any of these teams. We don't.
Right.
We got off easy this year for
Right.
once. So
Yeah, that's
so
the remaining
if
schedule.
we so the interesting thing about this is we based on that, one of those 3 teams is going to be the team that we face in the ACC championship because I think we have to go I think we have to go undefeated because we have not played a ranked opponent this year. Games have been relatively close. Our strength of schedule is interesting, so to speak. I think Clemson will probably have us beat just simply because of the Georgia. So it'll be interesting. We have to stay undefeated because if we drop an ACC game, this turns into a completely
But you
different
know what?
conversation.
You know what would I say in Miami's defense and give you a little pushback on that? At the beginning of this season, before the season started, people were so high on Virginia Tech. They expected Virginia Tech to be a ranked opponent. Let's make
Oh,
that
I
clear
know
when
that.
Miami played
Yeah,
them. So
yeah.
people expected the mainstream media expected they talked highly about Virginia Tech. All the college football gurus out there in mainstream media talked about how good that Virginia Tech was supposed to be. So we'll say the Virginia Tech game was supposed to be a ranked opponent. Duke at this point sitting where they're sitting and having the defense that they have right now and only one loss on their schedule, they should be a ranked opponent. And let me look at Miami's schedule because I know you got it by heart, but
Who's supposed to have 3 ranked
there's a
opponents
few
on our
that
schedule?
right. There was supposed to be a couple of them on there.
It's supposed to be Virginia Tech, Florida State, and
Florida.
Louisville. No, Florida wasn't gonna be ranked.
You don't think so? Florida State was supposed to be
No.
ranked. Nobody thought
So,
that Florida State was going to be that trash. Um, Nobody thought that. Nobody expected that.
no, nobody
So
expected. Nobody
they
expected
expected
this.
Florida. They expected that game to make or break the ACC championship game last week when y'all
Yeah,
played Florida State. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, so to have a little bit of pushback upon that. I know you're a fan and all that, but that's crazy.
yeah. So we
But
were
yeah,
supposed. Yeah, we're supposed to have at least three ranked opponents on our schedule, and unfortunately, we're going to have no ranked opponents on our schedule.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm
And
going
you
with
got
Pitt.
and we got Pitt, SMU, and Clemson get to decide whether they are going to play us or there's going to be a rematch in some type of scenario between these three particular teams. So there's that.
All right, right, right. So who you going with in this game?
Oh, I'm going with Pitt. I gotta go with Pitt.
All
Um,
right,
gotta go with Pitt. I think
all right.
Eli Holston, and this is, you know what, this is so good for Pittsburgh because Pitt, they have a dynamic quarterback who is young.
Yes.
Like Eli Holston is not, he's still gonna be here next year
Mm-hmm.
unless somebody, you know, try to stab Pat in the back and offer him some bread or whatever the situation is. But this young man left, left Alabama to come to Pitt. So obviously he feels like, hey, look, I'm gonna go somewhere where I know I can go out here and do some things. And Pitt, they're gonna be well developed. So I'm
And
not
I think
against that.
Pitt just draw in a whole lot of people, and it's crazy because all through college football, said like the bottom teams, the so-called bottom teams, have turned into the top teams right now. Like, I mean, the one team that I think some people were close on is SMU, right? I was big on Preston Stone in the offseason, as you know,
And they,
but
yeah,
and but I don't think people expect they really some people expected SMU to go for to the ACC and have this kind of success. They really did. And
yeah,
but as far as Pitt going, I don't think nobody had Pitt being 8-4.
nah, 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 nah. And then, like I said, the backup quarterback, which he's now the starting quarterback for SMU, he brings a completely different dynamic. And aside from last week against Duke, he's been playing lights out football. So, but it's going to be interesting again because Duke was able to turn him over three times, and we know what Pittsburgh can do from
Yeah,
what
that
they did last week. So that's going to be interesting for him to go up against this. But prop bets. Speaking of their quarterback, Kevin Jennings, SMU quarterback, over under 231 and a half passing yards.
he going under. That Pitt defense is different.
It's going under.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take the over in it. I'm gonna take the
Okay.
over in it. I'm gonna take
Mhm.
the over. Um, Kevin Jennings, over under 1.5 passing touchdowns.
On Pitt, I think I look. All right, look. So I think I take the over on both of those. I'm a renege. I'm a renege on that. I'm gonna take the over on both of those. I forgot that SMU can move the ball.
Yeah,
And they
they
can do
can.
it against some good teams. So so I'll take the over on both of those.
I'm very interested. They do not have a prop for Eli Holston, which is interesting.
Well, Desmond Ritter or Riddick is a beast. So what's his over under for Pitt, the running back?
They don't have one for him either.
Wow, wow,
So so I'm
wow.
quite interested. I'm
Well,
interested. But I guess we'll just throw another one out here. We'll go with Kevin Jennings again, which I mean I think that's obvious. Will he score a touchdown in any shape, form, or fashion? And I believe,
yeah.
yeah, he'll either run for one or he'll pass for one. So yeah.
All right, all right. No, that's a bet. So we got those out the way, man. Right now is where we do the pick and roll session, man, where we just go ahead and we just scroll through the games. We just pick them and we roll on to the next one. We don't sit down. We don't talk about the games. We just go through all the other games that's on the slot that we didn't have on the
Bro,
slot, such as
this
the
is
Air Force Army and
this is the
Minnesota,
second
Illinois.
this is the second week you disrespecting Kirk Signetti.
Me?
You didn't have him out here on the plate today.
nah, like, see, the thing is, like,
You
who
waiting
they
for the
got
Ohio State game. That's what you waiting on. I understand.
right. I mean, I'm not disrespecting them. It's who they're playing, and it's like I think that Indiana. I try to put decent matchups up there,
I
like
know
good
what you.
games.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I try to put the good games up there. Rather the record is 2-6 and 2-6. You know what I'm saying? If it's a good game,
Yeah.
I try to put it up there on a pick. But I don't. The Indiana is just. I debated with that game, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Indiana, and Michigan State. I think that's a hands
Come
down. That's a pick
on.
and roll pick. They're gonna take Indiana in that game, right?
Ah.
Who you taking in that game? Indiana,
I can't.
Michigan
I,
State.
ca- I can't bet against Cursing it. I can't do it.
Exactly. Exactly my point. You know what I'm saying? It's the pick and roll moment. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick and roll some of these teams. So let's go ahead and let's start the pick and roll. Air Force and Army. I'm going with Army in that game.
Yeah, I gotta go with Army. Yeah.
Minnesota at Illinois.
He, he already know where I'm going with this. Fighting the line
Illinois,
now, baby.
Illinois at home. I'm also going with Illinois at home in that game too. Maine at Oklahoma. Oklahoma,
Oh
right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
They gotta run it up.
Northwestern at Purdue.
Northwestern.
I think so too. I think that David Bryan and them could get it done. Purdue do need that win at home though, and those teams do match up well. Those teams do match up well. That is a good matchup. You know what? I might have to switch my pick and go with Purdue. Versus
Really?
Spartan. Yes, 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 yes. They're at home and they need a win. They need a win bad. They need a win, bro. Yes. Yes, it's playoff mode for these teams. This is a playoff bowl game for these teams. Yes, yes. Going with Purdue in that game. I think we got to see the best version out of Purdue today, and I think that they could get it done versus Northwestern. Stanford and North Carolina State. I think they're giving Stanford like a 9.5
Oh
or
my
something like that.
god.
Crazy. I think I took Stanford in the 9.5 over that
Uh,
team.
I'm gonna go with NC State. I think they're playing a lot better with
All
CJ
right.
Bailey
Okay.
at quarterback. I think he's just playing better, man.
All right.
So I'm gonna take NC State in that game.
Buffalo at Akron in the MAC.
We'll go with Buffalo.
That's what I'll pick too. I picked Buffalo in that game. I did with the bread down. Toledo at Eastern Michigan. I'm going with Toledo.
Yeah, Toledo.
Okay. Memphis at UT. The Road Runners UTSA.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Memphis.
Memphis also for me. Vanderbilt at Auburn. I thought that probably that was one of the matchups I wanted to put up on
Mm.
the slide today. And I did, and I debated on that. You gotta hit me
Mm.
up, bro. You gotta hit me up so when I do the slides, bro. So if there's a game that you want to put up on the
No,
slide,
I like the games. I just like the Kirk Signetti story though. I think we
okay,
should just have a Kirk Signetti segment like every
I
Saturday,
bet.
like
I mean,
win,
because we
lose,
was
or
talking
draw.
about him in the offseason, and I
No,
had
you
been
were
talking
talking
about
about it. I knew
yes,
nothing about Kirk
thank
Signetti.
you,
Now I'm sitting
thank
up
you,
here like
thank you, thank you.
Kurt is a
Thank
psychopath.
thank you for giving me my props, bro. Because a lot of people will say, "Oh, you wasn't." I've been talking about Indiana since the off season, bro. Since before the season started, off
Yeah,
season, I
yeah.
talked about Indiana being a surprise team in the Big Ten and watch out for them and who they were bringing up there and what he was doing. And
He's
I
a
don't.
psychopath.
Yeah, yeah, I am. You right. You right.
But I'm gonna I'm gonna go with Vanderbilt, man. They gonna make it a clean sweep of the state of Alabama.
I think look, this is gonna be that's a good matchup. I think good matchup. Styles make fights, and that is a good fight right there. Good fight. I'm going with Vanderbilt to win that game though, but I think that they're two teams that match up very well against each other. I'm going with Vanderbilt in that one. Old Dominion at Appalachian State.
Oh Lord, this Appalachian State. I'm picking the logo in that game.
I'm going with Old Dominion, man. They playing ball right now. Old Dominion is 4-4. They're 3-1 in the Sun Belt right now. I'm going with Old Dominion in that game. They have been playing absolutely lights out as a team. They are a problem in the Sun Belt. Yes, sir. They're good. And I think that they get App State today. Tulsa and UAB at UAB.
I'm gonna go with Tulsa. UAB, they're demanding for the head coach to be fired. So
Well, yeah, yeah, they
enough said.
what is that?
Enough.
Trent Dilfer over there, something like that.
Trent Dilfer,
Hmm.
Mister Elite 11 himself.
Yeah, yeah. I want to go ahead and Tulsa, UAD is the favorites in that game. I have no idea why they are, but
What?
yes, they are the favorites in that game, bro. Yes, they are, bro. If I'm
It's
lying, I'm
crazy.
flying. If I'm lying, I'm flying.
It's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, it is crazy, bro. They are the favorites in that game, but yeah, I'm going with I think that's another one of them easy pick 'em type of moments right there, man. When you saying that, yeah, I'm going with the Tulsa in that game also. Oregon at Michigan. We talked about that game.
Quack quack.
Yeah, he taking the Ducks. Man, I hate picking against Michigan, man, but I gotta go with Oregon, man. I gotta go with Oregon. Texas Tech at Iowa State. I think I'm going with Iowa State in that game, obviously. Who
Well,
you
I have to go with Texas Tech because I said Iowa State is the one that is most likely to be upset. So I'm gonna roll with that.
Yeah, that's your upset game for the day.
That's
I
my
forgot who
upset game for
who
the
who was
game.
my upset game for the day. I forgot.
You took South Carolina over Texas A&M.
Yeah, okay. So that was my upset game for today. And yours is Texas Tech and Iowa. Okay, all right. Uh the fighting Kurt Signetti's versus the Spartans.
I can't pick against Psycho Kurt, but I will say this. Michigan State has been playing better as of late.
Yeah.
They have some pieces. They can get after the quarterback. I see Curtis Rourke is going to be back starting this week, but you're going to stop Indiana from running the ball, like
All right. I'm going
point
with
blank period.
Indiana, man.
But I'm gonna go
Indiana.
with the fighting Signettis though.
All right. The fighting Cincinnati's. Kansas at Houston.
I'm
Kansas
not
at
picking Kansas. I'm picking
Kansas
Houston.
State. Kansas State. Kansas State at
Oh,
Houston.
oh. DJ Giddens, Avery Johnson. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. I think that's an easy win for Kansas State. I think they keep rolling. If they get upset, wow, that opens the door for Colorado like crazy. So I know there's a lot of fans waiting for that one to happen. UCLA and Nebraska at Nebraska today. I'm going with
Man.
yeah, I know, right? And I'm going with
I
Nebraska, man. They're
I
getting
think
better.
I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with UCLA because I think it was you that brought me up to this last week about UCLA has been playing better, and the quarterback they had, I believe last week he accounted for like 4 touchdowns. So I think Deshaun Foster, I think they're finally getting some
Momentum.
productivity out of that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I think unfortunately I have to say this. I think Nebraska already peaked, and they're starting to go down. I think
Okay.
like how they lost to Indiana last week. I think they're gonna have a little hangover from that.
I think they lost Ohio State last week, but the week before they had got smacked by
Or
Indiana.
India. Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right. They did lose to Ohio State, so 2 consecutive losses. So I think it's gonna be a third. I think UCLA. Don't they have to go to UCLA or UCLA coming
No,
home?
they're at home. UCLA's going to them. They're at home.
Oh, okay. So I
Yeah,
still like
you
UCLA. I still like
all right.
UCLA.
UNC the battle the bowl game. There's a bowl game today that is happening today, and that is North Carolina at Florida State.
Oh my God.
Both horrible teams, right? But I'm going with UNC. They've been getting
I'm gonna
better.
go with UNC. I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
UNC, man. I think they got some things situated. The
yeah.
quarterback they got, I think they're gonna be better, man. I think the defense is gonna be stifling today.
Playoff mode. Oklahoma State at home versus Arizona State.
Oklahoma State has now fallen into my Kansas level of hatred,
Yeah, I gotta
in
take
which
Arizona
I'm
State.
not picking y'all the rest of the season. So give me Arizona State.
Yeah, yeah, that's easy. Arizona UCF. That's another one of those bowl games that's happening today. They are
Mm,
both 3-5 overall, and they are both 1-4 in the Big 12.
my God. I
I'm
don't know
going
what it.
UCF at home against Arizona, man.
I don't know how to go with this one.
Arizona can't stop the run. Uh, Gus Malzahn's team is still a physical football team. I have no reason why they're. I have no inkling why they're sitting at three
Didn't
and
they?
five and 1-4
Didn't
in
they
the
just
regular.
fire? Didn't they just fire the defensive coordinator? Didn't you see just fire the defensive
Oh
coordinator?
my god. Maybe that may be a good thing for them, man, because they're supposed to be a lot better than what they are, bro. They're supposed to be a
Wow.
lot better, bro.
I'm gonna take Arizona. I'm gonna take the Wildcats in this. Like
All right.
UCF has been a disappointment this year.
Okay, so all right, that's good. I like that. I ain't mad at you for that. Hey, Middle Tennessee State taking on UTEP, man. Who you got in that game, man? Conference USA matchup. Another bowl game today.
I guess I go with Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee. All right. I ain't mad at you. I think I'll take UTEP in that game. I think UTEP got to get another dub in the Conference USA. I think that they'll start getting them together. All right. Ooh, that's a good one. Louisiana Monroe versus Marshall. Uh, good one. I think that's a good Sun Belt game right there. Who you got? I'm gonna take Marshall in that game. I've been rolling with Louisiana Monroe, but I'm going with Marshall today. I'm going
I'm
with the
gonna
Sun.
take. I'm gonna take Monroe.
All
I'm gonna
right,
take
all
Monroe.
right, okay, all right. Wyoming at New Mexico,
Oh man.
Mountain West Conference matchup. I'm going with New Mexico, man. I'm going with New Mexico. They quarterback is like that offense can score, and that quarterback, I think that quarterback is pretty good. Boy, New Mexico. I think that's the quarterback. Yeah, I'm going with New Mexico. You going with the Cowboys?
Yeah, I
All right.
guess we'll go New Mexico.
I thought you was going with Wyoming. Coastal,
No.
Coastal Carolina at Troy.
Oh man, Troy's horrible as well.
Yeah, they
I
have
guess I go.
horrible
I guess
this
I,
year, man.
I guess I go with Coastal.
Yeah, I go with Coastal in that game too. I think it should be an easy pick, but it is a Sun Belt matchup, and then Coastal Carolina is 1-2 in the Sun Belt right now, and Troy's on 4. So you could think that it's a bad game or not, but right now Coastal Carolina's going to get Troy's best, and I hope they don't walk in that game thinking they're going to win. But I'm going with Coastal. Navy at Rice.
Uh, I'm gonna go. I'll go with Navy. I'll go with
You
Navy.
know what? I ain't mad at you for taking Navy, but I think if I'm gonna go with an American athletic conference upset, I think Rice could do it to Navy. I think 2-6 Rice. Yes, I think 2-6 Rice can beat 6 or 1 Navy. I think so. I'm rooting for them to do it. I'm a crazy picker, but no, like yeah, though, man. They couldn't get it done, bro. Notre Dame exposed a lot of with that offense yesterday and how they want to get things. And I think Rice got a couple players that can do it and that can replicate that. But Navy should win that game. No, Navy will win, but I think Rice will be competitive today. I do. UMass at Mississippi State.
I
Mississippi
gotta go
State.
with the Bulldogs. I'm going with the
Yeah, they're gonna
Bulldogs.
smack them. You going with both Bulldogs? Yeah, I'm going with both Bulldogs right here. I'm going with Mississippi State and Fresno State over Hawaii. And I'm assuming
Yeah,
they're going with Fresno over Hawaii also.
yeah. I go with Fresno.
We did Texas A&M, we did Louisville, we did that. I debated about putting this SC and Washington game on there, rivalry game.
Ugh.
Good matchup, I think, for both teams. I'm not sold on. I think SC got the better team, man. I think
What does
SC.
that mean, though? What does that
I like.
mean?
It's gonna be a well coach. I don't know, bro. Like I just think they got the
What
better
does
team,
that mean?
like okay, so it means that SC has played in some close games, man. I don't see
They
Washington
have.
given. I don't see Washington playing Penn State the same way SC did. I don't see that happening. I think that Penn State would just they would just roll them Washington. But I'm not gonna really say that. You know what? I'm going with Washington because they at home, bro, against SC. They
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm going with Washington, bro.
Like I told DP, I said betting on USC is just throwing away money. So no, I'm Washington. Let's go
Yeah.
Huskies.
All right. Georgia Southern at Southern Alabama. Good Sun Belt matchup. Good Sunbelt basketball program, one of the
I think I'm gonna
Sun
go.
bro.
I'm gonna go with South Alabama.
Yeah, yeah, I think Georgia Southern got exposed, bro, when they lost to Old Dominion, bro. I think they got exposed. Yeah, I'm going with Southern Alabama in that one too. That should be a great matchup though later on tonight. Check that out when you get time. We did the you can we did Kentucky and Tennessee. We did Pitt SMU, TCU at Baylor. I'm going with Baylor today. I'm going with Baylor today. I'm going with Baylor today.
Yeah, it looks like your old ass team finally found the quarterback, but too little, too late. But hey, the man trying to save his job. So yeah, I'm this is this was the matchup a couple of years ago that was the best matchup in the Big 12.
All
It's
right.
in terms of two competitive teams playing each other. But I've had an affinity for Baylor for some years now, so I'm gonna roll with Baylor in this game.
Okay.
Roll
I
with
ain't mad
Baylor.
at that. And last but not least, Colorado State taking on Nevada.
Oh
Colorado State
man,
is rolling, bro. They 5-3 overall, 3-0 in the Mountain West. Jeez, jeez.
yeah, yeah, I roll with Colorado State.
Yeah, me too. Do you think Colorado State could be before we get on up out of here and we check out because it's almost 12? Do you think that Colorado State can beat Boise State?
No,
Okay. All right. All right. That's it. That's all I had to ask you. Hey, folks. Thank y'all for the people who stuck around, who listened to us. I appreciate y'all, man. And the like button and rolling with us today. I definitely highly appreciate that, man. I'm sure Shad do too. Thank you, Shad, for coming through today, bro. Salute. All right, y'all. We up out of here, man. Peace out. Y'all have a good
peace.
yes, bro. Y'all gotta have a good one. Another Truck and Chubby production. Let's go.